In today's video, I'm going to show you how to turn a photo into cartoon art in Photoshop using a clean, non-destructive workflow that gives you that fun illustrated look without ruining the original image. This is a great technique if you want to create social media graphics, profile images, YouTube thumbnails, posters, or just turn a regular portrait into something that looks more like comic art. And the best part is, because we're using smart filters and adjustment layers, you can always go back and fine-tune every step later. If this tutorial helps you out, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more Photoshop tips, editing tricks, and creative tutorials just like this. Alright, let's jump into it. First, open your photo in Photoshop. Once your image is loaded, head over to the Layers panel. If your photo is sitting on a locked background layer, click the lock icon to unlock it. This is important because you'll need access to the layer in order to apply the effects properly. Now right-click the layer and choose Convert to Smart Object. This step is one of the most important parts of the workflow because it makes the entire effect non-destructive. That means Photoshop will apply the filters in a way that you can edit later. If the effect is too strong, too soft, or if you want to tweak it after finishing, you'll be able to go back and adjust it instead of starting over from scratch. Next, we're going to smooth out the fine details to help the image look more like a drawing or cartoon illustration. Go up to the top menu and select Filter, then Blur, then Smart Blur. Smart Blur is great for this kind of effect because it reduces small texture details while keeping the main edges and outlines visible. In the Smart Blur settings, start by setting the radius somewhere between 5 and 15. A lower radius keeps more detail, while a higher radius smooths the skin and soft areas more aggressively. You'll want to adjust this until you see the textures disappear without making the image look too blurry. Then set the threshold between 25 and 40. The threshold controls how much of the image gets preserved versus blurred, so this helps keep the sharper shapes and outlines intact. For quality, choose high so the effect looks cleaner and more polished, and for mode, leave it on normal. Take a moment to preview the result. The goal here is not to make the photo completely soft, but to simplify the surface details so the image starts resembling painted or hand-drawn artwork. Once it looks right, click OK. Now we'll add the cartoon style edge effect. Go back up to the top menu and choose Filter, then Filter Gallery. This opens up a bunch of artistic filters, and the one we want is inside the artistic folder. Click on Poster Edges. Poster Edges is what gives the image those bold comic style outlines and simplified color areas. It's one of the easiest ways to create that cartoon or illustration look in Photoshop. Inside the settings, start with edge thickness set between 1 and 3. This controls how thick the black outlines become. If you want stronger comic borders, increase it a little. If you want something more subtle, keep it lower. Next is edge intensity, which should usually be between 1 and 2. This affects how dark and defined the outlines are. Higher values will make the edge lines stand out more, while lower values create a softer effect. Then adjust posterization between 2 and 5. This setting is what flattens the colors into more solid blocks. Lower values create a stronger cartoon look with fewer color transitions, while higher values preserve more of the original shading and gradients. Again, preview the image as you make these changes. You want the face, hair, clothing, and main features to still look recognizable, but with a stylized inked and illustrated appearance. Once it looks good, click OK to apply the filter. At this point, the image should already be starting to look like cartoon art, but we're going to make it pop even more with a couple of adjustment layers. Down at the bottom of the Layers panel, click the new adjustment layer icon, which looks like a half black and half white circle. From the menu, choose Levels. Levels helps us boost contrast, which is really important for making cartoon outlines and color separation look stronger. In the Levels panel, move the left black slider inward slightly to deepen the shadows, and move the right white slider inward slightly to brighten the highlights. This gives the artwork more punch and helps the cartoon lines stand out more clearly. Don't overdo it here. A small adjustment is usually enough. The goal is to create more contrast, not to crush the details or blow out the highlights. Watch the image as you slide the controls and stop when the artwork starts looking bold and lively. Now click the new adjustment layer icon again and choose Vibrance. This is where we make the colors more exciting and give the cartoon effect that bright comic book feel. Increase the Vibrance slider to bring up the muted colors first, then raise saturation to make the whole image more vivid. Be careful not to push saturation too far, because too much can make the image look unnatural or noisy. You want bright, stylized color, but still something that feels clean and visually appealing. A little goes a long way, especially if the original photo already has strong color. And that's the basic workflow. You've now turned a regular photo into cartoon art in Photoshop using smart filters, poster edges, levels, and vibrance. Because we use the smart object and adjustment layers, this setup stays flexible, so you can double-click the filters later and tweak the look whenever you want. If you want an even stronger comic book effect, you can experiment with different filter settings, use a sharper portrait, or add a subtle outline enhancement on top. But even with just these steps, you can get a really nice cartoon-style result that looks professional and creative. If this Photoshop tutorial helped you, please hit the like button, subscribe for more editing tutorials, and leave a comment if you want to see more effects like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.